question, maybe, probably not.
First, I got to say this.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I'm normally very humble, so it's a little awkward to sit here and talk to the camera, but since you're my son, I can sit here and tell you these stories, and it doesn't feel so awkward.
Yeah.
So, that's all I wanted to say. This one time. Hey, do you mind? Get down. Get down. I'm trying to draw here. Jesus.
Doug mentioned at an event that we were having, you're looking to have some type of showdown in an area that you've got maybe 3,000 to 5,000 square feet of space. We are hosting an art show here in the neighborhood, which essentially encompasses all of the near South Side. So everything down on Magnolia, everything in Park Place, down in South Main Village. It's called Artstoggle. It'll be October 12th. It's our 10th year, our 20th event.
It's time because our biggest concern is that artists are rarely appreciated in their own time. And we didn't want to wait until after Brad passed on before we had a retrospective of his work.
This is Brad Smith, Robbie Clemmer.
How are you doing? My career, you want me to go all the way through this? Quickly? Okay. When I was a little kid, my dad owned games and carnivals. As we were growing up, we thought we were in show business. That's what my mom told us to tell our teachers, because we changed schools all the time. My brother and I used to just sit and draw, and we'd watch, you know, they used to have great paintings at the carnival on all the front of these rides, and all these different booths, the mirrored room and the bearded lady. They all had great artwork, so we were always intrigued by that. So we would get really inspired, and we'd sit and we'd go from town to town and we'd draw whatever we'd see out the window. It just came real natural to us. I think most kids are in this imaginary world anyway, so it works out perfectly. So that's where the career started. I remember it as a career because at that point everybody was like, man, you're good at this. You should be an artist. So I'm like, okay, I'm 5 years old. I'm like, I'm an artist. Okay, so from that point on, I was like, all right, that's my job. Good, I had something to do. So I started practicing the whole time. And then anything that came up that related to art, people would say, I need a drawing of my dog, or I need a picture. My dad's opening a restaurant. Could you do something here? So my whole life, I never really had to get a job. I was able to just do drawings. I met my wife here in Fort Worth when I was visiting my dad, and it's like the door of the world opened up, and I'm like, I've got to stay here. This is perfect. And I started getting a lot of work. And when I first came to Texas, they didn't really know what murals were. There was a guy named Dan Hitchcock over in Dallas and Style Reed out here in Fort Worth, and those were the only two mural artists around. People had no idea what it was all about, or how it could apply, and what it could do for your business, or clean up your building, or just be cool in your house. I guess that's how I've made my living in the past. At this age, I'm trying to move it all over as much as I can to doing more just fine art, but you know, if it sounds fun, I'm willing to do it. huge shows and huge rooms, but that's one of the coolest parts about being an artist, and has been the cool part about Deep Ellum. You know, when we first got out there, myself and my friend Clay Austin, and then Jeff Sweeney, who started a lot of that down there, started introducing me to the realtors, and they would give me a building and I'd do a mural out there, and then they would rent the building and they'd give me another one, and then I'd do a mural on that, and before you know it, there's a huge following and all the artists are coming in doing stuff. It's also a real bitch. It's a pain in the ass. People don't pay you. They make every excuse why your check didn't get mailed. They see that you enjoy this. They perceive you as a really successful artist. You know, they're just, they try every capitalistic trick in the book. It's in their nature. It's part of America. You know, they try to beat you down. As soon as, you know, they try to get you to throw everything they can get in on you in the painting, and try to lowball you at the same time. So it's frustrating, like in any business. It's still a business. Artists need to realize that. And then these other ones just keep flicking off. This is other. Now it'd be cool if somebody was to say, "Man, this stuff is incredible. You're the greatest artist ever." You know, in your mind while you're painting, you're thinking someday they're gonna say this, and then nobody ever says anything. They tell you they appreciate it, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Just trying to work. So it's kind of fun having a nice big space like this.
Yeah.
Well, as you can tell, I'm a very serious person. And a lot of people do pay attention to you and think you're great because this is so different, and they wish they could make a living like this. But really, I'm just a working man. My special skill happens to be drawing and making paintings. So I can't take myself that seriously. Mike did all of this.
It's just real fun for the community because it was just a boring, plain building, and now I like seeing stuff come to life.
I think, you know, as long as you think of it, I don't care if it's commercial or not, it's going to affect people and make them feel good when they drive down the highway and see it.
So there's value in, even if it's not high concept art, if it's more commercial, there's still value in it.
Well, yeah, there's no, what is high concept art if nobody gets it? I think there's almost a snobbery in higher education and art collectors generally. They're like, oh, well, I get it and you don't. And even to, you know, I go to the museums and I feel so uncomfortable there. A museum should not be a place where an artist feels uncomfortable. It feels like a morgue, like they're gonna pull Andy Warhol out of the drawer, you know? But I mean, I don't know why these spaces aren't more comfortable. They're like, oh, you can't come in here and talk to me about your ideas. You need an appointment. You've got to go 6 months to the Community Art Center. Then someone's got to recognize you. You can't just walk in here and give us an idea to see if you can put all this art up in our museum. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm like, well, listen, I've got this idea. What about us living artists? You got all these dead artists in here from New York, California. I know you're trying to make a collection. Somebody's giving you a bunch of money. But what about what's happening now? What about some shit that nobody knows about, that hasn't been developed, that everybody, I mean, it's like, do we need another Impressionist show? I mean, I love Impressionism. I use it in every painting, but I don't need another art show. To me, you go like over there and you're like, oh yeah, I saw this one on a friggin' Hallmark card. Oh, I saw this one on a friggin' ad for Chili's. I mean, I don't know. It degrades it. So here, if you know about art history, you're a mural artist that uses techniques that were developed 1,000 years ago. You're trying to think, okay, how can I combine all that shit together and make one statement? And so I'm just sitting here painting, coming up with ideas, and hopefully all that stuff just piles on me and it comes out in the painting. That's all I think about. What makes it worth it? I don't know if it's an option at this point. I think it's worth it. I don't know. It's not that really rewarding. There's no big awards. There's no trophies. There's no Justin Bieber type of bodyguards around. It's like ridiculous. It's a difficult, it's really hard, and you have to bust your ass. So I guess the only reward is knowing that I've been able to raise you as my son into a cool artistic person who looks at life and tries to just look at the world the way I do artistically. And now you've got an art career making films. I just think that's really cool. That's been mine and your mom's most proud moment, is that we get to do this. It's cool. Is that good enough? Okay. Thank you.